Hello, friends, and welcome to this edition of Forkful of Noodles. I'm your host, Krish Mohan. America, land of the free, home of politicians that sign bills without reading them, and a nation that is less and less surprised every time it finds the government was doing something it shouldn't have. You could tell me that the government was recording me record this, and I'd believe you. When we feel like our freedoms are being taken, there are people who are ready to stand up for what they believe in, but most of the masses just give these people angered look and one dirty eye and say, "Shh, your protest is gonna make us miss Amish barn storage wars of Philadelphia. Now hush." The first of these was the Patriot Act, where the government wanted to get your email address and password so they could sell you boner pills in the name of freedom. Then we had SOPA, PIPA, and CISPA trying to take away internet freedom so nobody could bash the politician via blogs and internet memes so they could sell you boner pills in the name of freedom. The biggest stabs to privacy and our freedoms is the recent and ongoing debate about NSA taping into phone records leaked by Edward Snowden. This is, of course, the government's efforts to see who hangs up the phone first when spying on high school couples and then sell them boner pills in the name of freedom. Now, the NSA and the president have come out and said they're only collecting metadata, like who you called, when you called, and what service, and so on, not really recording phone calls. I mean, Google doesn't even use metadata. Wait a second. Is the government going against Google? Wait, are they on the side of Bing? Oh god, Bing users out there, stop what you're doing. Just switch to Google. They know where you are, they know how much porn you've downloaded, and they know what folder it is. Please switch to Google. Or just worse yet, use Yahoo. It's still a search engine. This mostly seems like the NSA is trying to play public freedom's trivial pursuit with all the unnecessary information it's gathering. Wouldn't they rather play something like Twister or Monopoly? Oh, right, they have different names for that, like Wall Street and corporate bailouts. With all the invasions of our privacy and breaking of the First and Fourth Amendments, it's almost like the government is paranoid about its own country's citizens and what we're doing behind closed doors. The scary part is, this isn't even going to be the last of the secrets we hear from the government. Every conspiracy theory must be checked, and we start by watching the movie Conspiracy Theory. Then we watch Lethal Weapon 4, and then we move to What Women Want, which I assume is not to be spied on. And then we think about how great it was before we realized Mel Gibson is a crazy person. We fell in love with this great Aussie hunk until we discovered he was an anti-Semitic sexist nutjob. The American public wouldn't have cared at all if you were spying on Gibson through all of this. Think of how much better it would have been if the government was spying on him and told us from the start. Think of how great it would be if we found out that Channing Tatum was some sort of modern-day Jack the Ripper through government spying on his calls, so I can stop fantasizing about his great chiseled abs. Oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted. Now, we should really be afraid as to what freedoms are in jeopardy next. Perhaps our homes won't even be a place for our own privacy anymore. The next thing you know, I gotta pull out a futon to house a private from the National Guard and let him use my Netflix account? I don't want his terrible taste in movies ruining my recommendation. Really, dude? Waterworld again? You've seen this like 4 times. And then we're gonna have to turn in our Uzis we used to hunt rabbits, and you give me a Nerf gun? You can't kill a 10-point buck with a super soaker. Eventually, all our rights are going to be sponsored by corporations. On that note, I want to let you guys know that you have the right to enjoy great taste and be less filled thanks to the 28th Amendment, which is brought to you by Bud Light Lime. Regardless of what the next leak is, we should take the example set by brave whistleblowers like Bradley Manning and Edward Snowden and all the other whistleblowers out there calling out the things that they see that are a blatant invasion of our privacy and against all of our rights as citizens and permanent residents of this country. With that being said, I am now going to go watch the new episode of Amish Barn Storage Wars of Philadelphia. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of Forkful of Noodles. You can always follow us on Twitter to see what's up at KrishMohanHaha. Check out everything that we do at ramennoodlescomedy.com and support our friends at TouchFaster at touchfaster.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time.